So I'll speak to what we do with the road shows. So we have a schedule of workshops that we host. So this year with Innisfail, we're working with them for just about a year. So we're going to be having 4 workshops with them. And so we come and we bring their community together. And so we have lots of posters and advertisements. We get the members from the town and some of the Chamber of Commerce and some of the businesses inviting their friends, their coworkers. And we have an event where we'll do some visioning. So looking ahead, what's your dream for your community? What would you like to see happen? Later, we'll play the game, the Newtonian shift. And then finally, we'll get into brainstorming some initiatives or what are opportunities for your community. And then we'll look at, can we bring those people to the table? And so when we finish, we kind of get to a spot where we're at, we've got some ideas for initiatives. We've got the people at the table. Now let's take it and run with it so that we can have some solutions for them to transition. So one example that I gave is at Rainbow Lake, where we worked with them last year. We had some workshops, and one of the ideas of the initiatives that came out is the geothermal. So obviously developing a geothermal project doesn't happen in 1 year. That's a lot of time it takes, but they're really moving along that process. So that's a bit of what we do with them. Thanks for that question. And I think the first thing is I would almost reframe your question, and part of it is the looking to change someone's mind, change someone's perspective. I think a first thing on my end is I have to look at myself first and think about what is their perspective. I need to acknowledge it, respect it. If someone is coming at me angry and frustrated, as I mentioned, if we're proposing even an energy event, an energy efficiency event in their community, and they're frustrated that we're going to do this because that means that we're going to be promoting closing oil and gas, and that's going to mean that their job is on the line, and that I need to understand that and I need to respect that. So first is respecting the people I'm talking with. And then from there, I think it's really getting to the heart of the matter of sometimes there's a gap in education. So someone might not fully understand. And so once you take that pause and reflect of where they're coming to you from, you can maybe identify, oh, they think we're talking about this, but there's actually a disconnect. That's not right. We're actually talking about this. So there's a moment to, if they're open to it, offer a bit of education and clarify what you actually mean. And I have had this happen and I'll say those energy efficiency conferences that we held in rural communities. Not everybody was on board, and there were some communities that had backlash. And part of it came from just not understanding what energy efficiency meant. And some of that backlash just came on social media. Sometimes we had people come to the event and they were frustrated, but meeting them with patience and kindness and offering clarification was really helpful. But I would say it's always good to practice your conflict resolution. Energy can be a very polarizing and heated conversation. So always a work in progress, always lots to learn there. Before I answer that, I do want to add something and this is a concept of how the Energy Futures Lab started, was the fact that there was this polarization, but recognizing that there was actually a lot of people in the middle space. So we call this the radical middle. So there's a couple really loud voices on either end. So maybe if we're talking about energy, and there might be one side where there's people really pro renewable energy or really desiring and ready for change, and then the other side, people who really are against change. And you might know of some example of people you've met in your own lives like that, resistant to change. But then so you think in your mind you only hear those two voices, but actually there's so many voices in between, and that's actually where most of people are. So how can you mobilize that middle group, the radical middle where most people are, and they're somewhere on the spectrum between the two, and get them to work together and make change. So that's what we work on in the Energy Futures Lab, is mobilizing that radical middle. But to answer your question on how can the average person help in the energy transition, I think one thing first is to recognize the space that you're in and make the most of the spaces that you occupy. So for myself, I am still a student at UBC, and there's a lot of opportunities within being a student to learn, to get educated, to ask a lot of questions from my professors. I have a lot of class projects where you can pick any topic you want. So you could write a paper, you could do research, you could, if you're looking at policy, look at energy policy, and really challenge yourself to get educated while a student, to learn in this space and make the most of that opportunity of being a student. But then also looking at opportunities to make action and help your community. So in my capacity as a student, there was opportunities to volunteer in campus sustainability, and so be involved in campus sustainability events. And that might mean actually reducing the impacts of the school, or it might just be in educating others and bringing others in. So I'd really challenge people to do a bit of reflection on where am I, what spaces do I occupy, and is there a way with me, or is there a way within that space that I can contribute? I'm trying to think if I've got a few examples of places that are really worth checking out. If you have events that come to your town, whether you're in the city, if you're still at school and there's guest speakers, I'd really challenge people to meet, attend those events, expand your worldview, and see if you can get involved. And you can always look at coming back to your own life and the choices you make, and model good behavior, and looking at having more sustainable actions in your own life, and modeling that for your friends and peers. So there you go. There's a few ideas and examples. So the Energy Futures Lab is mainly based out of Alberta. Obviously, some of us, I'm in Vancouver, so we've got a few in BC. A lot of our events are Alberta based, but there's lots of ways to learn with us and get involved. So the first thing I would say is check us out on social media. It's a great place to start. As I said today, I was only able to touch on a few of our initiatives, but there's some really brilliant stuff happening. So you can look at our website, our social media, and we also have a lot of webinars that have and will continue to happen where our fellows are sharing the innovation that they're leading. So it's really brilliant stuff, and the Energy Futures Lab is recognized across Canada as being a leader in this space. So I'd highly recommend checking it out there. In terms of in-person events, we're always changing. So stay tuned for opportunities to come and check us out. So as I said, this year we held a youth innovation jam. So we're looking at whether we're going to host that event again. So I can't make any promises there. We're not sure yet how we're going to continue to engage with youth, but definitely more will be coming there. So stay tuned. But also we will often have in-person events that people can tune in for. So we might have a road show in your community. And if so, come on out and get involved.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time. And it's cool to see that there are just more avenues for collaboration opening up all the time. So that's really super.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for reaching out, and happy to share today. Thank you.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you have good weather there. And yeah, enjoy Whistler.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, all of you, and thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye-bye.